Hi guys, it's Stu here from White Raven Down. Hope you're doing well out there. Today we're going to be talking about some of my gear. So yeah, take it away, Ryan. Yeah.
Hey, Ryan Webb here, and hope you're doing great. So on the other end, I have Stu Bailey, who is the guitarist, the producer from the band White Raven Down. He's also the manager of the band, so this chat is going to be really interesting to see how the man manages his time while managing the band and writing music. So it is going to be really cool. And, yet again, this is another video about gear talk, guitars, pedals, and all that good stuff. So before we dive right in, if you could subscribe to the channel, it would be really appreciated. So, hey man, thanks for taking the time and having this chat with me. Hope you're doing well. And so let me kick this off by asking you, who is Stu Bailey in your own words?
Some gobby little Essex guy who loves heavy rock. In a nutshell, there you go.
There you go. Simply said. All those cool guitars, man. All those cool guitars in the background. I can't wait to get into this. There's so much to talk about. In the pre-chat we had a few days ago, you talked about your pedals and the massive setup. So it's going to be quite interesting to see. So let's dive right in. So, which is your favorite guitar of them all?
Well, that's an easy question, mate. You see me them all day long. There we go, right here. This white SG. I don't know whether you can see it because of the light, but it's a beauty. Hold on, I'll go grab it. This here is a 2013 SG Standard. I actually didn't go in to buy this. This was I wanted a pro level backup guitar, in case I had a problem with guitar which I was using at the time, which is that one just above my shoulder. But we can go into that next. I wanted something actually a bit more smooth and creamier, something more like a PRS. That's what I was after, and I could get a range of different tones in. But as I was in the shop, I'm trying lots of things out, and we've all done it. We're like, wow, look at that one, look at that one, oh, look at that. But this thing here just kept on blooming calling to me to try it, and I did. And I found this, and I found a PRS that I really liked, and I was switching. You narrow it down, didn't you? And I was narrowing it down to two. Now, two totally different animals, right? And I just freaking fell in love with this thing, because this thing, you put a bit of dirt on it and it growls at you.
Yeah.
And these pickups, which I think are, they're quite hot. I think they're burst buckers, 57 burst buckers. I think. Yeah. Which is different to some of the older stuff, which again I'll go on to, which I've played for years. And I love this guitar, mate. The neck is a lot more of a D cut, so it's quite thick, and the fretboard is really wide, a lot wider than the SG. The one that's on my shoulder, which was my number one for years, is a lot more slim on the neck, and that's a 98.
Cool.
And this is, we're getting on for vintage, aren't we? 98, something like that. But this, mate, this freaking does everything for me. This Stetsbar here, which is a company based in the US, who should get more recognition for what they do, in my opinion. These things are beautiful, and they're designed so that all the posts fit into the holes that are there for a standard stop tail end.
Yeah. So sorry to interrupt you there, man. So what brand is that?
Stetsbar.
Okay, cool.
They haven't got many big names use them. I think because Floyd Rose sort of snap up all the all the fancy artists. But this Stetsbar, mate, what a tool! Yeah, freaking so well designed as well. It's on ball bearings as well, and this whole plate moves rather than just this end.
Yeah.
And then you're getting breakage here, putting extra pressure on the bridge. the whole bridge, you probably won't be able to see that, but the whole bridge moves that's on ball bearings here. Oh, mate. So that's where you get the string slacken. So, that's where you get the tremolo.
Cool. So do you do your own mods, taking things apart and putting it all together and taking it apart again?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yeah. I have had people do stuff for me in the past, which I've got to be honest, that I probably I learned from. You learn from other people tinkering, and you think, oh, okay, right, I might be able to have a go at that, and then I did, and then managed that I could, because it's your instrument, you spend a little bit more time and care on it, and you can get things, especially intonation. Because, like for example, here, got a very nice self-lubricating nut at the top here, which I also add load of. I personally put pencil lead in them as well.
All right, cool.
Just to help the lubrication, and then these locking tuners up here, which have all been, customized and changed by me, for me, and I love it, mate, honestly. And this is the Stetsbar Pro 2.
Cool.
I love the SG. I love the sound. I love the look.
Yeah.
I just wanted something that would give me a little bit of variation, because I think as we said in the past.
Yeah.
I'm a guitarist, single guitarist in the band. So I need a bit of variation. Got to keep things interesting.
Yeah,
and,
cool.
And that's why I'm holding the way it is.
So, what brand of strings are you using, man? And what gauge?
I use Ernie balls. I use heavy bottom. I think they go down to 52. I think.
All right. Yeah.
And then the top end go to a 10. I've got a packet. Just to double check and make sure I'm not giving you any duff information. I thought I had a pack there.
Yeah, well, anyhow.
I'm sure they're 52s. So they're thick. They're thick. But we tune down to drop B on a 6-string guitar. So it's not a B on a 7-string guitar. We get nice beefy.
Yeah.
This beefy big full sound.
Yeah.
But that SG, that 2013, great year for SGs. Because the year after they started put the the E-Tune tuning system on the back of the head.
That's really flopped, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Big time. You can see all those E-Tunes being put up on eBay, for like 30 quid or whatever. It's like, I don't want it. Is anybody want it for 30 quid? I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's turned out to be one of those kind of toy things, or like it never actually worked. I don't know, may have worked for some. I have no idea. I've just seen reviews, and it doesn't seem like it actually does the job what it's all meant to do,
I think because just my opinion, guitar players, a lot of guitar players want things to be quite natural, don't they? They want to be involved. And if that means if you tune it sharp, then I'd rather have it tuned a little bit sharp, or flat, whatever, than rely on a computer, a computer to do it for you. That's essentially what's happening, isn't it? And because you just used to strum the strings, didn't you?
Yeah.
Set the tune you want, and done. I personally prefer to do it the way do it manually. But I'm sure a lot of other players, well, they didn't they? Because that's why it flopped. But then
get the tuning peg robot on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love this half batwing as well. This is
cool.
It's got that real 61 look.
So is that the guitar you use mostly on the on your tracks, and we'll be getting into your new album that's going to be coming out soon. Pretty much is that the guitar that you use all the time?
This is it, mate.
Cool.
This I use for everything. It's changed a few, like colors and knobs and things like that, but just to make it, I like the black and white contrast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not much of a color guy.
Unlike me, man. All colorful and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember I think I had a Music Man, like a JP7 that was like a white or a creamish kind of thing. I had it for a while. I don't know why. Every time I go crazy on the whammy, it just goes all weird, and it just didn't work for me. I set up my guitars, and I've been setting up my Ibanez's and Floyd Rose guitars for like ever, and it just somehow, I think because it didn't have one of those locking nuts, for some strange reason, the strings were just not kind of adapting with the strength on the stretches and stuff like that. So it was going all over the place sometimes, Anyhow,
I
it's
think it's why it's good. These, like on this particular here, right? So there's like on a like Floyd, you've got the locking nuts here.
Yeah.
Haven't you? Well, because they're locked in here, and this is really well lubricated.
Yeah.
This end isn't going to go out of tune because because the whole thing moves. So there's nowhere for the string to catch.
Yeah.
So honestly, I swear to God, I have played a hot, sweaty, stage full on heavy rock show and not freaking had to tune this guitar.
Yeah.
And I've been using this, the whammy as well. And a lot of people, think, bullshit. That's the truth. That's how good these things are.
Yeah, cool, man. So would you have the same pickups if you're grabbing another guitar?
Yeah. Well, this here is the 98 SG standard.
Yeah.
This was actually a birthday present from my dad on my 18th birthday.
Cool.
So there you go. Again, fitted with the Step Spar Pro 2.
Yeah.
This is pretty much a carbon copy of the other one. Except, I'm not sure what pickups. I did take these out at one point and put EMGs in.
Yeah.
Just weren't for me. I didn't like the way that it just compressed the tone, and EMGs are great at giving you an EMG tone.
Yeah.
I personally, when if people were to listen to our band, we have there are some, heavy influences on there, but the tones are quite wild. Do you know what I mean? There's no compression in there.
Yeah, it's quite open, right? Yeah, I could hear it, man. Definitely can hear that. So, have you tried the Fishmans? The Fishman modern humbuckers, the active ones?
No, I haven't.
All right.
No.
They seem to be, well, not compressed like the EMGs. So you got a wide variety of tonal, things that you can explore. I would say, it's cool. I've got a set which I've tried on one of my Ibanez's, and it's different. It doesn't breathe a lot of. It just kind of feels like the wood breathes through the pickup or something. It's very sensitive, and I think all the strings, it's the articulation. It's pronounced really well. So even if you got a really high gain dialed in, you play your full on G, and you still hear the strings individually, which is cool.
That's great. Yeah,
which is really, really cool. So apart from guitars, man, so what is your signal path like? So are you using amps, or are you using modeling amps, or what is the whole Stu Bailey setup?
Well, how's the square? Right, okay. Well, I cannot tell you absolutely. I can't tell you absolutely everything because I've got some bits and pieces going on, but I use a stereo rig, right?
Yeah.
So, as I said, I'm the only guitarist in the band, and we regularly play with bands that have two guitarists and things like that. And, we've got to remain to be full and have a big sound, and that's what it's not only about say competing with. We're not competing, are we? Music is music.
Yeah.
Let's interpret that in any way, but we want a big full sound for what we do, and by having that stereo rig allows me to do that. So I'm playing through so I'll go from those SGs. I do have a variety of pedals down here. So first of all, I'd be going into just my wireless receiver, then going into the Morley Bad Horsey 2,
Cool.
which I think is that the Joe Satriani signature thing?
Isn't it the Steve Vai
Oh, yes,
signature? Yeah,
yes,
probably.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow, man, what a freaking beautiful wire that is.
Yeah.
And I like it as well because it's always sort of, cocked up rather than the Dunlop ones where you got to push them down to switch them on.
Yeah.
So yeah, you put your foot down on it, and what's great about it is it engages when the tone is at its roundest, not when it's cut.
Yeah.
So you can bring it in gradually rather than stamp on it and it goes, and then you've got to put it back again. I've never understood that.
Yeah, like wow. Yeah, cool.
You know what I mean? And you can do the same thing for switching it off. So you finish whatever you're doing, a solo or something, and then you've got to put it to its maximum to switch the thing off. That's bizarre to me.
Like a little jump every now and then to a solo's about to start. Let's jump on it.
I've never understood that.
Yeah.
So out of the Bad Horsey 2, I'm then going into a Digitech Whammy 5.
Cool.
It's got again the full sweep of the pedal.
Yeah.
I use that a lot, if I'm honest. I use it for rhythm sections. I use it for accentuating different parts in solos. We're quite a melodic band,
Yeah.
And certain you can emphasize certain things by using the whammy.
Yeah.
Just my opinion, it doesn't, it might not suit everyone's ear. But it's become a part of my playing. It doesn't leave my board. I know it's a sort of pedal where it can quite often find its way into people's boards for 6 months and then come off again. We're using it. But no, I've had a whammy on my board for 15 years. I like it. I like what it does. From there, I go into I use the Gig Rig G2
Cool.
switching system, because the tone that thing gets, it really cleans up the signal path, and by that, how does it do it? It has its own loops.
Cool.
Okay, so for example, if I wanted to punch in a particular pedal, let's say I wanted to punch in a tremolo, that loop of that tremolo will be bypassed, and then when I want to engage it, I punch that loop in, which will then send the signal that way. And then but it doesn't hit any of my other pedals that are switched off. So the tone is pure, as pure to that rough signal or the original signal as you can get. I've got a mixture of lava cables, which I think they also changed their name to another company as well. Changed their name to a new brand. Still use the same.
All right.
Same brand. But yeah, they're brilliant. And what sort of pedals have I got? As I said, I'm a guy in only the only guitarist in a band. I'm looking down there now, and I'm going to send you a photo so you can show this.
Yeah.
But I've got TC Electronics Helix. I've got Boss Tremolo there. I've got a Wetter Box by Gig Rig. I talked to you about that as well. That's superb. JHS, the fuzz pedal. I've got them, they call it Madaletta, something like that, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, a really good, they've got that JHS pedal. They have got the big muff, all the variants of the major big muffs. They've got all of their circuits in one pedal, plus their own. I think it's called Muffaletta, actually. And,
that's a cool name, man. That's such a freaking cool name. So when you're running, like you say, when performing, and you got a massive, stages, and you got to run a really long cable, do you use a buffer or anything in between?
I don't use buffers. I don't even use signal boosts or anything either.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I find that I'm putting it through 2 EVH 100 watt heads. Right, if that ain't gonna make you sick and hot,
That's freaking
I don't wanna
awesome, man.
fucking-
That's freaking awesome. 200 watts EVH head. Fucking hell.
And again, why do that? Because our sound is big.
Yeah.
We have a big sound, and we've worked really, really hard on our guitar and bass sounds.
Yeah.
I could talk to you for ages about it, and the pitfalls that we've had, of experimenting, and that's close, that's not quite
Yeah,
enough, so we
yeah.
refine it.
Yeah.
It's only even been, we've been messing around with this for 2 years,
Yeah.
and now here we are. What we're now, December 2020,
Yeah.
and just before we've gone into this lockdown, that's finally when we've gone, do you know what? I think we got it where we want it now, But again, and then I've got some MXR overdrives. I've got a way huge green Rhino overdrive, which I think is a beautiful overdrive pedal. Eventide H9.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Which is a wicked pedal.
Yeah.
Again, that works for me in stereo, so that allows me to get guitar harmonies, because I found out that Brian May uses Eventide rack mount stuff, so I ended up doing this. But Brian May's he's got people to click buttons for him, not Gobby Stew from Essex. He hasn't.
Gobby Stew. I wonder if that's your nickname, man. People give you Gobby Stew on guitars.
I'm sure it does.
With his dual EVH head. Cool, man. So what are your influences, man? So from, got any guitars that influence you from the 70s, or anyone even in this day and age, the 2000, any influences there?
Yeah. Well, I'd say the biggest influence on me was Tony Iommi.
Cool.
Hail.
Yeah.
In fact, my son is named Anthony after him. Homage to him and Tony Stark, of course. But he was a big influence on me. Him, Richie Blackmore,
Cool.
From the 70s.
Yeah.
I'd say there's an influence from Lemmy in terms of some of the rawness.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah. The total aggressive grind of his playing.
Yeah. And our bass player, Luke, my God, mate, honestly, he's a powerhouse. He plays with his fingers.
Yeah.
But again, like what Luke is doing with his bass, there's no one on our circuit doing what he's doing.
I think got pretty much a similar setup like you.
Well, we've kind of based what his setup insofar as similar to like Royal Blood.
Cool.
You know what they do? Like, they have the bass guitar.
Yeah.
And they're using it as a bass and parts for a guitar as well.
Yeah.
We're doing something similar, but we're doing it drop tuned, which, trust me, comes with its blooming issues. And we're punching it in and out for, like, if I take a guitar solo, or if I'm playing a different part or something, we can keep the original phrasing of whatever's going on underneath, and we can put things on, and we can layer on top. But when you think that you've got, we've got a bass signal, we've got the ability of putting a guitar signal, similar frequency guitar signal on top of that bass, and we can put a keyboard on through that as well. A keyboard, like a pad or something like that.
Yeah.
We can do that all with the bass, and then when we put, my stereo rig on top of it, and look to do some harmonies with that things on top, then you start getting actually there's a really big sound here for what is essentially, one drummer, one bass player, one guitarist, one vocalist. That's all we are.
Cool. So are you using like two cabs, when you perform live, or do you do that in a recording situation as well? Left and right. The bass player has his own rig, and you have one of your cabs on his side, and then one of the other cab on your side. Is that the setup I'm assuming?
We've done both. Yeah, when it's depending on the scenario, in the early days, when we were playing real small venues and perhaps cabs might not have been mic'd up, and we would separate the cabs so that then the bass and then what he was doing would be in the middle, so we would have that spread. These days, we're playing bigger venues, everything's mic'd up anyway, but so we just have to have a little bit of a discussion with the sound engineer to let him know what's happening, and then he's quite, all right, okay, I get it now. So cool. But again, there's been a lot of experimentation and trial and error, and what works for us doesn't work for other people,
So let's get into the single, man, Salvation. What a cool track. So how did this come about? What is the influence there, and what did it come out from, a riff or being a producer? How did this come about?
The riff.
The riff. I guess I'm right, man.
The riff. The inspiration was kind of a little bit. Do you remember the film Terminator Salvation with Stu Bailey?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't the biggest fan of that film, but I'm a big fan of the Terminator and Terminator 2, quality films. But it just so happened that Salvation ended up becoming the title of the song, and some of the lyrics lent themselves to what some Terminator values.
Yeah, cool.
And it just kind of worked. And it all started off with the riff, and I tend to write. It becomes okay. There's one bit, and I feel I do it instinctively. You know what I mean? I do have, my God, so many recordings of riffs or chord progressions and all that. I do, but I tend to prefer to write, linear. So okay, I've got this bit, and now I want to take it here before I take it to a chorus or whatever, and I kind of let the piece guide me rather than going, okay, right, I've got this riff that I wrote, 2000, and then I've got a riff here from 2018, and don't get me wrong, I've got stuff
put
like
it all
that.
together.
I mean, our single "Not Alone," the music video for that the main riff of the song, I wrote that when I was 14, 15,
Cool, man.
and and I'm not 14, 15 anymore, I think what's interesting about that riff is that it's actually played like it's almost got a reggae influence to it because everything's on the upstroke. And reggae does not influence me with my playing at all, but yet here we are, I'm finding myself doing this. And then next thing you know, bang, freaking,
So when you are in the writing process, do you come up with a whole idea, like you will put down the bass line, the guitar parts, do you sing a little bit and just give the idea to the vocalist? Do you do the drums? Just like a pre-demo, like a kind of thing. Do you do that in that space that I'm looking at right now?
Have I missent you something? Have I copied you an email or something? How do you know this? Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I just, and the thing is, I think a lot of it is for my own sort of, not peace of mind, but for the creative thing, I have to get out, because if I don't, I end up becoming quite miserable, and my wife will quite happily come in and tell you that as well. I'll have to get this out of my system.
Yeah.
But once it's out, then it's fair game, for all the guys to say, yeah, I love this, or I don't like that, or I do like this, I don't like that. Can I change this? Like, yeah, cool, and we'll start bashing it out together before we, we work on the song and eventually before it's recorded.
Cool.
But yeah.
So on average, man, how long, if you are, you've got this really cool idea for a song and, you're cracking on, would you actually sit down and finish the whole track in a day, or say sometimes for some dudes, they'll finish it off in like 6-8 hours to get the majority of the basic idea laid down? Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, I've done lots of different ways, to be honest. Sometimes, it can be very, very quick. From the instant idea, the initial idea, I have been known to get that down full demo in a day. Apart from lyrics, I'm no lyricist. I'm a bit of a frustrated singer, which is where the melodic part of our guitar, from the guitar playing comes out, because, I think I can sing, but the reality is
just being very polite and modest over there.
No, mate. Honestly, you ask the guys in the band, I sound like blooming Alan Jones. You remember when he done that Walking in the Air track?
Not really.
Like, that's my heavy rock voice.
Cool, man. So is it possible to have a little chat about the new album that's about to, come out? I'm not sure it's going to be mid next year or whatever.
Yeah.
As much as you can chat about it, what is it going to be, a new sound, or, what is the approach? Are you still fully involved as a producer and stuff like that?
So with the album, I'm not involved in terms of produce. I mean, yes, I've very much put it all together, recorded it, and prepped it, and it's been sent off to be mixed by John Cornfield. John Cornfield is down in Cornwall.
Cool.
And he's worked with some fabulous names. Some of his biggest was probably Muse,
Cool.
Oasis, Supergrass, King Creature.
Yeah.
I know he's working with some other great bands right now, actually. So I mean, yeah, he knows what he's doing,
Yeah, of course.
I'm really sort of prepping everything all for him, and then he's doing his magic, and he's a great producer. And I'll tell you what I really like about him is that he listens,
Yeah.
He really listens about what we want and what sort of sound we're after. And there's quite a bit of discussion as to, like as we've spoken about now, like with the bass, how we're doing things, with the guitars, the way they're set up. I couldn't just give this to anyone and just go, yeah, mate, freaking,
So will I be right by saying that you would pretty much do all the guitars in your space over there, and the drums are being done in a studio, or does a drummer track it on his Roland or TD? I'm not sure which model you guys are using. And is that the approach for the new album as well? And you put it all together and you send it to the producer, and he takes it to a different level, and he mixes it as well, I'm guessing, and then send it off to mastering. Is that the old approach?
That's how we do things right now. Yeah. We're really pleased that, I mean, the Roland TD30 is a wicked machine. When we first started, we actually used it live probably for about 6 or 7 gigs.
Yeah.
And and the reason why we've done that is because we wanted to explore what we could do creatively with it, rather than have 16 different drum kits, all lined up on the stage. on the open mic night, you know,
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
have been pretty unpopular. So
Get kid number 3 over here right now.
yeah, we tried it live as about 6 or 7 times. We each time we wanted to try this part out, try this out, and
Yeah.
eventually, you know, for a heavy rock band, it didn't work live for us. You know, only the style of what we were doing. You know, we're a heavy rock band. You know, and a lot of the it was the fans really. A lot of the fans were like, you know, I really, really love what you're doing. It all sounds wicked, but I'm just not a fan of the electric drum kit. It was a shame, but eventually we had to sort of concede and say, all right, okay, fair enough. We'll get an acoustic kit, which, you know, we picked up this acoustic kit. We spoke about it, didn't we? We picked up this acoustic kit from Colchester, right? So we're down like south of Essex. Colchester's like central to, you know, like east.
Wherever.
Yeah. So we had a proper go around do this. And then we were headed to Stafford, right, to play a show. And so we picked up this kit, we get there and we're setting up for sound check. We're literally, you know, taking the polythene off the drum kits as we're going. You know, we're just like, it's just been the biggest learning curve, you know, this band. You know, but we do what we had to do, you know.
Yeah. So what was it like, you know, the transition from, you know, totally getting used to the Roland TD-30s for a while, and then you're going acoustic, you know, it's just the raw, especially the you know, on stage feel from being totally kind of hitting on rubber pads or mesh pads to the actual in your face noise.
For me, it was freaking amazing because it felt right. You know, it felt
feel alive. Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you what, again, you know, like because we were trying this electric kit out, you know, bands up and down the country have all done this, and we've done a sound check, you know, spent a bit of time. Bang on, mate. That's how we want it. Wicked, right? You know, now it's time for our set. You know, 1 minute into it, I couldn't hear. The sound engineer didn't put the blooming electric drums back through my blooming stage wedges, right?
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell where the freaking beat was, you know? I don't know.
Hit that freaking mesh or rubber really hard, man. I can't hear a damn thing.
So our drummer's doing the blooming, you know, hitting the hi-hat.
Yeah.
Which is rubber. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm just like, I can't see it. I cannot see it. And the hi-hat, it was black as well. So freaking, I couldn't see a blooming thing, mate. That is fear. Trust me, that is fear.
I should have been there. That would have been a cool gig to see, man.
Right, honestly. And it happened more than once, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, Jesus, you know, like we can't have stuff like that going on, you know. And eventually, you know, as I said, we listen to our fans, you know, people saying, look, we freaking love what you're doing. We just, you know, this kit's just not working for us. And we had to, you know, concede and say, well, okay, look, we tried it. 7 gigs is a lot of, you know, that's a long time to keep trying something. Eventually we just, you know, and
you would say you guys have your sound now with the acoustic and performing live. Do you plan to you know, record with an acoustic in the future?
I would like to, but I've got to be honest. Especially, you know, I'm really excited how this album is sounding so far. We're about 80% done. You know, it's close, mate. It's real close, you know, and especially, you know, what the software that we're using, you know, we're using Superior Drummer 3. It's 3, isn't it? Yeah, it's the latest one. And you can you know, you hit a snare and you get bleed coming in from the other you know.
Yeah.
We're
I
good.
totally get that, man. I
Mate.
kind of cut demos out from, Get Good Drums and Stephen Slate drums. I never tried the Superior drum. I think like probably 10 years ago when Toontrack was doing, I tried it then. But since I got into Stephen Slate and all his whole package, I just stayed with, all the triggers and SSD5, and now I'm just dived into Get Good Drums, and I just stick to one kit. I kind of did a whole template of just getting my kicks the way I wanted to sound, and the snares and the whole thing, and then just save it and basically just continue from there to the next tracks rather than sitting and wasting time, trying to find another sound. I stick to that sound and make everything else adapt to the kit, because if you're performing live, you're gonna have one sound as a drum kit in reality, unless you got a crazy cool sound guy who's gonna sit and fiddle around after every track, you know what I mean, like a more compression on that. You can change the sound, with a lot of cool waves plug in. Nowadays a lot of crazy things can happen, but a lot of those kind of stuff I think is happening in America, where you have some really cool, crazy sound guys who have a dedicated waves kind of sound grid set up, and pretty much everything is so dialed in. Every track is so perfect. Sometimes it's a bit weird, but it's just one of those things. If you check out bands like Garage and all those kind of, everything is dialed right in.
Yeah.
It's when you have a crazy cool sound guy, everything is different. But it's one of those things. But the real feel of being raw, and I think fans would appreciate in a way where there's a little bit of difference when you're performing live. You know what I mean? It's not exactly the same as a CD, or if it gets boring, to be honest with me.
Yeah.
Do you? Now that's going to be a question. If you written a solo on a track, would you change it when you're performing live?
On this album, I have got one. Yeah. Yeah. Why? Yeah, you're going to ask me why.
Why? Of course.
We've got a song on this new album that's called All Day Long, right?
Yeah.
And in the there's a guitar solo, and that leads into a breakdown.
Yeah.
There's a guitar harmony going on throughout this breakdown, which our vocalist then comes in singing over the top. Now, again, this is something which I can completely replicate live. No trickery there. But when we do it live, the part that I play just takes a little bit away from the vocal line.
Yeah.
So I've changed it so that it becomes a definite dynamic contrast.
Yeah.
Because we want to get people involved, get them all hand clapping, and build them back up,
Yeah.
And with me playing the part I was playing on the recorded version, it just takes away a little bit from the dynamic. And live, I play it a different way for that reason.
Cool. So, are there any tips and tricks you would like to share? While tracking guitars. I've got to say it down there, man. So, are you one of those guys? I've got my own little thing dialed in. I don't want to share this secret ever.
No. I'm joking.
So, any tricks while you're tracking guitars that from all these years of experience? Have you come across any things that you say, "Oh, I wish I never done that in the past," or this is what I want to do now, and kind of any tricks along the way?
I think as regards to tracking rhythm parts, especially riffs, I think is know your riff inside out. Know where it sits on the beat. Play it with your metronome. You know where your obviously your metronome is a complete constant. So like a riff like Salvation, for example, there's three different phrases within a 4-phrase riff. So da 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 da. there's two riffs there, two phrases there.
Yeah.
And you got 3 and 4. Right.
Yeah.
So there's riff 1 and there's riff
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Riff 3 repeats of 1, and then riff 4. Yeah,
Yeah. Cool.
that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the phrase,
Yeah.
that's the phrase of the riff. And to some people that might seem incredibly busy and, not worth tiddly squat. To me, as a riff writer, that excites me,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I love writing riffs,
Yeah.
and chord progressions and things like that, and layering of those, and that just excites me. I'd say know your riff inside and out.
That is a tip. Know your riff.
Yeah.
Know your riff.
Yeah. You want to keep some merchandise.
Cool. So another quick one, man, since we're talking riffs and guitars. So if you're working on a solo, say you got a crazy cool solo, and how quickly would you lay it down? Or are you happy like from the first 3 takes, and would you work again? Would you come back to it like another day and say, oh, I wish I could do a bit more? Or would you just leave it there?
I've done both.
This dude has done everything.
No, sometimes, say, I'm not like because I was self-taught, right?
Yeah, same as me, man.
Nice.
Same as me. Yeah.
So what you end up finding what you do is that you end up learning the stuff that you gravitate to.
Yeah.
You tend not to learn the stuff because it's in this syllabus or this section. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm not a metal player, right? So sweep picking is not something that I've got into. Now, people that would know me, they'll probably question that because, like, say, well, you guys are like a heavy band,
Yeah.
But that's not where my influence is not modern guitar players.
Yeah.
My influence are like the Richie Blackmore. I mean, take Richie Blackmore, for example, right? What a fantastic improviser. Everything was, or a lot of it was improvised. He obviously had his signature stuff, but a lot of it was improvised. He felt restricted by, blues stuff. So he used a lot of, modes, major scales and all that sort of thing. What Richie Blackmore was brilliant at was his phrasing, and it's that really excites, me, and so with my playing, I've kind of got like I've picked up bits from Iommi, I've picked up bits from,
Richie,
Zach Wilde, Eddie Van Halen. I've picked up bits from Tom Morello.
cool.
So these are guys that have inspired me. And again, I'm not a big player. People don't go, oh God,
Yet again, modest and polite.
No. I just do my thing. What works.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm just goofing around, me. Always goofing around. So very quick one, man. Do you ever pick up that Fender Strat that's behind you? Ever?
I'm looking after that for a good buddy of mine who's living in New Zealand, and I said, oh, American Strat, eh? I'll look after it for you. I've had it for a while. You can see it's got. Can you see from there? It's got humbuckers on there rather than the.
Fairly, I can. Definitely on the bridge side, I can see the humbuckers. I think so. Yeah, cool.
Oh, I'll grab it. And what I do like about this, is it's 22 fret rather than the 21, like my SGs, because my the Gibsons are all 22. But this is a Fender Corona California.
Yeah.
It's US Strat. I think it's called I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's not your standard Strat. It's got
Oh, all
some
right.
extra pieces on there.
Cool. Cool.
It's nice. It is nice.
It's nice. That's one way to put
No
it.
SG.
It's no SG, but it's nice.
Yeah. It is nice.
Cool.
It is nice. It's my mate told me that he was after he went in to go and buy a Les Paul because he was a Slash fan, and he said, well, he come out with the color of of a Slash burst, sunburst, but it's nice, mate. It is nice, but it's no SG.
No, definitely not.
What can I say? I love SGs, and I'm a small guy, like I'm about 5'7.5", 5'8", I don't know. Who's counting? 5'7.5".
Cool, man. So, apart from working on the new album, what else is happening right now with you, man?
What's that? What, in life or
in life in general, man? What's kicking? What's rocking?
well, my God. Well, it's 2020's been an interesting one, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and, I think it's been positive and negative for for a variety of people. So we're not gonna get into that COVID thing.
yeah. Well, I mean, my wife and I, we had a little boy who was born in December 2019. So, to be honest with you, we haven't had time to be bored, or anything like that. It's been a massive learning curve. We're trying to raise him, but it has meant that I haven't been all over the UK playing, So I've had a lot of time at home, which I probably would never, wouldn't have had. So I feel, from a, sort of selfish perspective, that I'm really grateful for that, because it's been brilliant. It's been amazing. We've also had, a lot of difficulties with the album, because originally our album was going to be produced by somebody else. And COVID had some, horrible effects on his life, of what, the guy, he did everything he could to try and, work with us, but it just weren't meant to be. But everything all ends well in the end, because his life is picking up now, and we're working with John now, who we're really happy with. Great guy as well. And someone that of his stature. I mean, we've been really lucky as well, because someone of John's experience. And we also last year we worked with Ramesh Dodan-Goda, who's worked with Motorhead.
Cool.
Bring Me the Horizon, Put It For My Valentine, big names. In fact,
of course, man.
For a Grammy as well,
Yeah.
And he was like, I want to work with you guys. You do? So yeah, it's been. I mean, we released our first self-titled EP that was self-produced, and we knew nothing. The learning trajectory of these past 2 years have just been mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And here we are, almost on the brink of releasing our debut album. And I'll tell you what, I'm so excited to get it out. Really intrigued and nervous to see what people make of it. But we've just worked so hard. We've worked so hard on getting this as best as we possibly can. And we just want it to we're a band. We're musicians. We want to play live. We're also a heavy rock band, based in Essex. You know, we've been playing socially distanced gigs for 20 years. We don't want to play socially distanced gigs anymore. You know.
Cool. So how are you guys planning on releasing the album? You know, you got a distributor? Are you guys signed to a record label, or what's the whole process, man?
Yeah. Well, we're going to be releasing through Roulette Media Records. We just had to transition from WDFD Records to Roulette Media Records, and we're very excited. You know, there's a lot of great potential, and the guys involved, we love them all. You know, as we do with the last label, WDFD. Got nothing but total admiration and respect for them all. You know, we love them, and we're a family for a period of time. You know, and it's like, we travel. You know what you've done it yourself. You know, you're traveling up and down the motorways at silly o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. And you don't know where you are. It's pitch black motorway. You think, good job I freaking love this.
Pretty much, man. It's the same old rock and roll lifestyle.
It's great, isn't it? You've got to
love
it.
Of course, man. Yeah, of course. That's why we keep doing it, man. We never freaking stop.
Yeah.
So this has been great, man. So before we come to an end, end this, do you want to give a shout out to anyone, your fans or loved ones or brands?
Anyone that takes the time to check us out, we really do appreciate it. It's, we're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but we do consider ourselves to be, we're artists. Of course we do it. It's great that people like it, but there's a little bit of selfishness at first, because we do it for us, because we have to get, as I said, we have to get these ideas out.
Yeah.
Me especially, if I don't get these riffs out, I become unbearable to live with. I do. So it's almost like therapy,
I need to get this out now.
Yeah, so please.
5 in the evening. I have to get it out right now.
If anyone could spare a few minutes to check out, White Raven Down, and you find us at whiteravendown.com, all the usual socials, then please do. We really would appreciate it. And if you have done in the past and you're seeing this video, just, thanks again. We're so grateful, so grateful. And if,
cool,
and if
man. This is
at least thanks for giving us your time. Maybe next time,
Cool, of course, man. And I really appreciate you taking the time and having this chat with me. And we'll check you guys next year sometime soon. Do keep in touch and take care, man.
No problem, mate. Thanks for having me.